Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. It is the last Friday before Christmas, December 19th. And we got a market kind of just holding in a range right now. Uh, After yesterday's nice little pop based on that CPI number, we so far haven't really backed off a whole lot. Just kind of been trading in yesterday's day session range. But that was a crazy day session yesterday. That was a roller coaster and a half. They definitely tradable. If you can get on one of those roller coasters, they were money to be had. But I haven't seen follow through like that for a while. Usually it's just all back and forth, and they just churning the market. It was choppy, but pretty good follow through that yesterday on most of these moves. It doesn't mean it wasn't volatile. They were moving pretty good, and back rotations were pretty hard. So difficult stuff to stay in unless you had the really big stops. But that's part of volatility. Had to deal with that stuff. And news this morning. Well, first of all, it's quadruple witchings. We have options expirations today, so you can expect a little bit of odd action. Those little reversal choppiness. We have corporate profits at 8:30. That's not going to do much. But at 10 o'clock, we get personal income, we get the existing home sales and consumer sentiment, all those coming out at 10 o'clock today. Personal income will be a CPI rate. I'm not sure that's going to come out. You're getting, because usually you get the margin adjustment, or they raise their margin ahead of it. So it's on the schedule, but I'm not sure if you're going to come out or not. But if it does, we can expect some action around 10 at least. We can at least say that. So going into today's trading, I would just say we're starting off pretty darn range bound. We're going into a Friday. Next 2 weeks are going to be short weeks, going to be chopped up. A lot of people are going to be on vacation, taking time off. But it is just really, I believe Christmas Eve it's a half a day trading, early close. Christmas Day on Thursday is going to be closed. And then we have a regular Friday. And then most likely exactly the same thing happens the following week. So so we got like 3 days, like squeeze days going on there between holidays and weekends. So gonna be probably be light volume, kind of choppy trading. Probably not just light volume trading. It doesn't necessarily need to be super choppy. It just, but usually when it's light volume, you can get, you don't need to do much to get some action going on those. So that's, I think, how we get started on that right now. At this point. Um, at this point, just flat out range bound trading. I'm looking at this thing here. I see this rotation down, right down into that mean here, that mode. I didn't have a level there. It was getting too crowded. But you can see that on the F1 here, in the bigger picture, you see we are trading around about that 68.45 to 50s. That looks like we have balance right now, and we're pretty much right about that area. The last couple of days, we had this crazy stuff going on when it ran all the way down here to the lows at 67.70, then ran back up again on that CPI number. And Santa rally looks very much absent. Not much to do with that. We'll see. Maybe we'll get something in these light volume trading days. I don't know, but it's going to be. You would have the Santa rally should have been here already for a few couple of weeks now if it would have materialized. So kind of an odd season, isn't it? But starting off, looking to sell strength, 68.55s, 70s, 80s, up to the 90s, and 6900s for rotations down. Looking to buy weakness against the 6820s, the 10s, 6800s, 6790, 6770 for rotations back up. Now, I would still hold out for these two support areas, the 6820, 6810, 6800. These three support areas are critical. I mean, we had one pro below it, pretty good one, day before yesterday, and that really set the stage for that. We can certainly head lower, but I would just watch those very carefully. If they hold above it, I'd be staying range bound. If they start challenging these, I would just stay on the short side and wait, see if they can take them out or not. So early weakness, looking to buy against 6820, 10, 6800. This is a key support area. So if that comes out, we're going to be in some I think the selling could pick up into something a little bit more substantial. In other words, we are on the capital flow side of things. We were down here to that 67.70 attractor for a bit, and they can certainly trade right back into this lower range again. And then that would be what happens if they take out this three-letter edge. That's not three-letter, but these three support areas. So I'm watching that carefully. Are we going to get weakness into the weekend, or are we going to get that's kind of a range bound sloppy day? We'll find out in short order here. But starting off range bound, fading the edges fairly equally. Given the reversal from yesterday, there's no reason to assume one direction or the other. So range bound trading, they've been kind of pushing the edges first on the upside. You had a little bit of push on the upside for a bit, and we haven't been pushing the other side of the range. So that's just typical range bound trading stuff. Now, unless we get the piece of news here at 10 o'clock, which really changes the dynamic, I would just stay as that. So looking to sell strength at this point, the 68.40s, we're trading right there, so I'm not going to include that right now. 68.60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 6900s, 69.15s for rotations back down. Above the 68, 69, 6900s, 69, 10 to 15 here. If they start taking that out, we are back on the long side in a big way. If they take out the lows here, the 68, 20, 10, 6800s, I think we can start thinking about the short side a lot more aggressively. And we do have a couple of more levels to lean against. So there will be the 67.90s and 67.75. But we've only been down there probing it once. So I would be cautiously buying against those areas, looking for buying opportunities. So that's how we get started. And then let's see if we get any kind of directional stuff going on here. Usually a witching day, you don't get, I can't remember getting big runs on the witching day like that. Usually it's pretty choppy. They run up, run down, you run between strike prices, On the NASDAQ, we are a little bit on the downside. We are right in this congestion area. We're not up above it in an area where we really start getting some traction to the upside. So definitely in a kind of a sloppy area of congestion, and I would just say range bound trading there as well. If we start seeing them taking out a couple of these resistance areas above the 450 and 500s, I would then maybe start considering the long side. And below that ledge at the 25-100, really nice three-letter ledge right there, I would start considering the short side. So not really an obvious volume attraction area. They've been a little bit more scatterbrained and all over the place on the NASDAQ. So I would not be surprised if we get some volatility on the NASDAQ today. But starting off range bound, looking to sell strength at this point against the 25-400s, 450s up to the 500s. Looking to buy weakness 25 to 280s, 25 22. Sorry, what is that? 280s. This is 210s, 170s down to this 112, 110, 115 support area. And this area right there, that's your three-letter edge right here. That's that three-letter edge. So that comes out, I think we are in a spot where they can start and take it lower. So watching those two. So these two areas, the 25, 110 to 115, and then one below it, 25,070, these two support areas. It's going to be a shifting point that we start taking this to the downside in a much bigger way. And you can see yesterday or the day before yesterday, we were all stuck down here before we got the news, the CPI popping us right back up again. So maybe the CPI is going to linger a little bit. The good news there on the inflation read, keep us in a spot where they can hold this upper area. I'm not seeing any development of any rally though, but well, you never know, right? You never know. Friday rally into the weekend. Okay, it doesn't feel quite natural, but it's rarely we see that, but it has happened. It has happened. So that's how we get started. So looking to sell strength up to that 25,500, looking to buy weakness down to the 25,070, and they want 25, 110 to 15s. And if they trade outside of that range, you may have a directional move going on here. But you can see here, just on this screen here, we have a lot of range back here and a lot of value back here as well. But right now, you can see how choppy it is back and forth. They run it hard down, they reverse hard, they go back down again, and right, it's just all over the place. Feels like it's pretty choppy, but some of these choppy days has been pretty good runs, so they're definitely tradable. Just have to be a little bit nimble about it. So that's the ES and the Nasdaq, both of them starting off flat out range bound. On the bonds, it's just same story there, range bound trading. The levels today, we're trading around 1508. We are still very much in that oops, not that one. It's still very much in this area. So in this low volume area, just split out that J again. You're gonna see that. Yes, that was the run up we had. We have an attractor area at 117. We have the attractor area here down at 114, and we are going right between them. So we're building value between these two areas right now. That's the dynamic. So that's flat out range bound trading on the bonds, and looking for my setups. So looking to buy weakness 1502 or 4, 15 or 1428 for rotations back up. Looking to sell strength against the 115, 14, 22s up to the 28, 29s for rotations back down. Last one on the downside would be the 114.20, but that would be a pretty good move to the downside if that happens. So definitely could be a nice move on the bonds if they start taking out that 114.28. But they can run it all the way down here to the 114, 1408 before, and just back to that attractor. Right now they're kind of trading between, pretty much in the middle of the range. So flat out range bound trading right now on the ES and on the bonds. And I'll point out the trades when I get to them if I see a good setup on the bonds. But it is a lot slower and it's a lot more deliberate, and you kind of had to wait for it to show you where the edges are. You have some obvious ones on the F2 here. On the intraday chart, you get a few more building up, and you just have to find the one which gives you some certainty about or a better trade location. So you don't try to do middle out trading on the bonds. You're doing outside in, fading the edges back to the mean, especially when it's trading like it is right now. All right, so that is the bonds. Back to the ES and the Nasdaq, and we're going to wrap it there. So everything is kind of where we left it. All righty, guys. So good trading, and I will see you guys back at 11:30 and see how for the next update. So good trading, guys. This Friday, last Friday before Christmas. I've been talking about it since July. It's here. Christmas is here. Alrighty, guys. Good trading. I'll see you back at 11:30.